Insight News.
Ever notice how, like sometimes the most unexpected things kinda just happen? You know what I mean? It's like two completely different orbits suddenly just colliding out of the blue.
Yeah, like, wow, where'd that come from?
Exactly. And that's kind of the head scratcher we've got lined up for you today.
Oh, exciting.
We're taking a deep dive, really digging into a truly surprising announcement.
Go, lay it on me.
The blossoming relationship, of all things, between golf superstar Tiger Woods and Vanessa Trump.
No way.
Yes, way. Former daughter-in-law of, the Donald Trump.
Okay, now that's a curveball I did not see coming.
Right. It's fascinating, isn't it?
It really is.
I mean, you've got these figures who are like titans in their own totally separate world.
Yeah, sports, high society, even presidential politics.
And somehow
Yeah,
their paths cross, and not just casually, it seems.
makes you think about those hidden connections, right? Those threads weaving through everything, even when it seems so separate on the surface.
Absolutely. Now, for this deep dive, we're working with a single source.
All right, what's the scoop?
A detailed report, hot off the press from BBC News, published earlier today, March 24th, 2025.
So, fresh insights.
Oh, yeah, we're right on top of this one. And as always, our mission, what we're aiming for here is to unpack all this, go beyond just the headlines.
Peel back those layers.
Exactly. And see what kind of interesting, nuggets we can unearth, the stuff that makes you go, didn't think of it that way.
The good stuff. So we're not just dealing with a celebrity romance here.
No. This goes deeper.
This has layers like family dynamics, the shared experiences that draw people together. And I think it speaks to something else too.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
I think it says something about how the world's getting smaller, at least for these high-profile individuals. Their orbits just keep intersecting,
That's a really good point. All right, so let's get down to brass tacks. I'm pretty sure you've at least glimpsed this headline. It's been making the rounds. Tiger Woods, at 49, confirms he's in a relationship with Vanessa Trump, who's 47. And the news, it didn't come from some big fancy press conference or anything.
How to drop.
Just straight to social media. Sunday, March 23rd, 2025. Boom, there it is. A post for the world to see.
That's how it's done these days, right? No more waiting for the official channel. Straight to the source, straight to the people.
Control the narrative right from the start.
Smart move, especially when you're dealing with figures who are already so much in the public eye.
And they kept the message pretty simple, too.
What'd they say?
Something like, love is in the air and life is better with you by my side. We're looking forward to our journey through life together.
Oh, sweet. But you know what's coming next, right?
Oh, yeah. It ended with the standard, please respect our privacy during this time.
You think that'll actually happen?
With these two, with their families and histories, not a chance.
I mean, good luck with that.
Oh.
Especially in today's world. Everyone's a paparazzi with their phones, constantly connected, sharing everything.
Privacy. What privacy?
Exactly. But hey, it's understandable why they'd at least ask for it, right? I mean, they've both been through the ringer in the past with the whole media frenzy thing.
Totally. Okay, so before we get too deep into the why of it all, let's take a step back.
Lay some groundwork.
Exactly. A little refresher on Vanessa Trump. The BBC article reminds us, and it's important to get this right, she was married to Donald Trump Jr.
Yeah, for a good while, too.
A good while is an understatement. 13 years they were together. That's a serious chunk of time.
No kidding.
They finally finalized their divorce back in 2018.
Okay.
And they've got a big family, 5 kids together.
Whoa, 5 kids. That adds a whole other dimension to this story.
No doubt about it. And think about it. Being married to a Trump, that puts you right in the heart of a hugely prominent, politically charged family.
For over a decade.
Talk about an intense experience. It's got to shape you,
Yeah, that's not your average family barbecue.
Not even close. The article even points out that Vanessa was a fixture at all those official events back when Donald Trump was president.
So she was used to the spotlight, the cameras, the whole 9 yards.
Big time. There's even this little detail about a Getty Images photo from Trump's first inauguration back in 2017.
Right.
The caption says it shows her standing with, get this, Ivanka Trump and Michelle Obama.
Whoa, that's a powerful image.
Isn't it? It just captures her whole former life right there in the thick of that political world.
And now, here she is, linked to someone from a completely different universe, like Tiger Woods. Talk about a transition.
It's a wild turn of events, for sure. Okay, speaking of Tiger, we got to spend some time on his side of things.
The golf legend himself.
No other way to put it. Tiger Woods. For so many people, that name just equals pure golf greatness.
15 major championships, former world number one. I mean, the guy's a walking, talking highlight reel.
He's reached the absolute pinnacle of his sport, achieved what most can only dream of.
And yet, like the article points out, there's another side to his public image. It hasn't all been smooth sailing.
Oh yeah, there's that whole other chapter, the one that the article thankfully doesn't shy away from.
The scandal, right?
The late 2000s were rough for Tiger, to say the least. All that public scrutiny, the marital infidelity, the whole sex scandal thing, it was a media storm.
And understandably so, those kinds of stories grab the public's attention like nothing else.
It dominated the news cycle, and you can't deny it. It shaped how a lot of people viewed him.
Definitely. It's hard to imagine that kind of intense media attention not having a huge impact on him personally.
It makes sense why, as the article suggests, he's become so guarded about his private life since then.
You got to protect yourself after going through something like that. And I think it probably changed how he navigates relationships too, made him more cautious.
Oh, for sure. And the article doesn't sugarcoat it. They go there. They mention his time in that sex addiction rehab clinic.
Right.
And of course, his divorce from his first wife, Elin Nordegren. That was after 6 years of marriage. And they have 2 children together.
It's a reminder, isn't it? Even with all the success, all the fame, those personal challenges, they hit everyone.
No one's immune. Okay, so here's where things get really juicy, the part I've been wanting to get to.
Spill it.
The connections. Because this relationship, it's not as out of the blue as it first seems.
Okay, I'm all ears.
Right off the bat, the BBC article points to this one big link, like a flashing neon sign.
Hit me.
Tiger Woods' kids and Vanessa Trump's kids, they go to the same school.
Interesting. So their paths might have crossed way before any romance even entered the picture.
You gotta think, school events, drop-offs, pickups, birthday parties, all that jazz, they were probably in the same circles for a while now.
It's that classic, our kids became friends, so we became friends situation.
Except, you know, with a former president's daughter-in-law and a golf legend, it adds a little extra spice.
A little extra spice indeed. And there's more, isn't there?
Oh, it gets better. Both Tiger and Vanessa, their kids are super into junior golf.
No way.
Yes way. That's a pretty niche shared passion, and it's got to create a ton of opportunities for them to, bond.
Tournaments, practices, all those carpools, you're spending a lot of time together.
Exactly. And those junior golf communities, they're tight-knit. Everyone knows everyone.
Yeah, you're traveling together, sharing the wins and losses. It builds those connections for sure.
And the article even zooms in on Vanessa Trump's 17-year-old daughter, Kai Trump. She's a talented golfer in her own right.
Oh, yeah.
She's already committed to playing collegiate golf at the University of Miami starting in 2026.
So she's serious about it.
Oh, yeah. Following in Tiger's footsteps, maybe.
That's a good one.
And get this. Kai and Tiger's son, Charlie Woods, they both played in a junior tournament just last week down in South Carolina.
Wow, so their lives were already overlapping big time through their kids before any of this relationship stuff even came out.
It's not some random, out-of-the-blue connection. They had common ground, you know?
And maybe those kids were playing matchmakers. You never know.
Okay, so there's the kids' connection, but hold on tight because there's another layer.
Do it.
Remember that Tiger Woods has a well-known, dare I say, friendly golfing relationship with, drumroll please, former President Donald Trump.
Yeah. Haven't they played together a bunch of times?
More than a bunch. And as recently as just last month.
So there's a pre-existing link to Vanessa's past, even if it's indirect.
And you gotta wonder, right? Was there ever any talk about Vanessa back when Tiger was on the course with Trump? The mind boggles.
It definitely throws another wrench in the whole how do they even meet question.
Oh, absolutely. It suggests their paths might have crossed way before we, the public, were even aware of it. Maybe at some fancy golf event or a dinner party. Who knows?
And, having a good relationship with your significant others, well, former father-in-law, that can't hurt.
Smooths things over a bit, maybe.
Potentially. But wait, there's even more to this web of connections.
Oh, yeah. Buckle up. Because back in February, Tiger was part of a meeting, and not just any meeting, a White House meeting.
Seriously, what was that about?
It was with Trump, remember him?
Yeah.
And a bunch of PGA bigwigs. They were hashing out the future of golf tournaments, the whole drama with the Saudi Arabia-backed Levy League, all that juicy stuff.
It's kind of crazy how much power and influence Tiger still has in the world of golf.
Right. He's not just a player. He's a force to be reckoned with. His opinion matters, even when it comes to the political side of things.
And his presence at that meeting, it shows he's willing to engage with those power structures to use his platform for more than just playing the game.
He's playing the long game, that's for sure. But here's a little detail that just adds another layer of intrigue to this whole story.
I'm on the edge of my seat.
The article mentions that Tiger, when he went to this White House meeting, he decided to wear a very specific piece of jewelry.
Ooh, let me guess. A Rolex. A diamond-encrusted putter.
Nope, even more interesting. His Presidential Medal of Freedom?
No way. The one Trump gave him?
The one and only, awarded back in 2019. Now, call me a conspiracy theorist, but that seems like a pretty deliberate choice, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, you don't just casually throw on a Presidential Medal of Freedom for a meeting, especially when you're going to see the guy you gave to.
It implies something, right? Maybe a continued respect for Trump, or at the very least, it shows there's no bad blood there.
Definitely a calculated move. Okay, so we've got the kids, the golf connections, the Trump connection, but there's also something else we need to factor in.
Oh, right. Tiger's personal life, his recent circumstances.
Yeah, because things haven't been exactly easy for him lately.
The article reminds us that he's dealing with a pretty nasty Achilles tendon injury.
Ouch, it's got to be rough for a guy like Tiger.
Yeah, and it's sidelined him completely, no competing for a while.
He hasn't played in a single PGA Tour event this season.
Imagine that, for a guy who lives and breathes golf, being forced to sit on the sidelines.
That's got to be tough, both physically and mentally. I mean, so much of his identity is tied up in being Tiger Woods, the golfer.
Totally. And on top of that, as if the injury wasn't enough, he's also dealing with a huge personal loss.
Oh, right. I'd almost forgotten.
His mother, Kultida, she passed away just recently, back in February.
Losing a parent, it's one of those life-altering events. It shifts your perspective, makes you reevaluate everything.
Makes you crave connection, support, comfort.
And those are things that a new relationship can offer, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. It's important to remember, though, that this isn't Tiger's first public relationship since his, those very public struggles back in the day.
He's dipped his toes back in the dating pool before.
Oh, yeah. The article mentions his past relationships with Lindsey Vonn, the skier.
Right.
And also Erica Herman. They were together for a while.
It's like they're saying, hey, he's had relationships, he's moved on.
Exactly. But then there's a little more to the Erica Herman story. And it gets a little messy.
Oh, how so?
The article says that things ended badly.
Yikes.
They even mentioned the lawsuits she filed against Tiger and his trust back in 2023, though she later withdrew them.
So there was some serious drama there.
It sounds like a pretty bitter breakup, which, let's be honest, after something like that, you'd probably be a little more cautious about jumping into a new relationship, Riley.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, who wants to go through that whole legal battle thing again?
Exactly. So we've covered a lot of ground here, but the big question remains, the one everyone's asking.
The million-dollar question, why now?
Why announce this relationship now? The article doesn't give us a clear answer, but it does drop a little hint.
What's that?
Apparently, there'd been rumors swirling around in those gossip magazines for a few weeks before the official announcement.
Ah, so the rumor mill was already churning.
Full speed ahead. So maybe, just maybe, they decided to take control, get ahead of the story.
Nib it in the bud, announce it on their own terms before things got too out of control.
Exactly. Because, let's be real, when you're dealing with figures like Tiger Woods and a Trump, the media's not going to let this slide.
No way. They're going to milk it for all it's worth.
So here we are. We've got this incredibly unlikely pairing, two hugely public figures from worlds that seem miles apart.
The golf superstar and the former president's daughter-in-law, it's like something out of a movie, the kind of plot twist that makes you go, wait, what?
It's definitely a head-scratcher. But then when you start digging deeper, like we've done today, all those connections start popping up, and suddenly it doesn't seem so random anymore.
It's like those 6 degrees of separation things, except it's more like 2 degrees.
Maybe even 1 degree. You got the kids, the whole junior golf scene, the pre-existing relationship with Donald Trump himself.
It's all intertwined, isn't it?
Yeah.
It makes you realize that those neat little boxes we try to put people in, they don't always hold up.
Absolutely. And it makes you think, what other connections are out there, hidden in plain sight? What other surprising relationships exist between people we think we know?
It's like that iceberg thing. We only see the tip, but underneath.
There's a whole world of connections we're just not privy to.
Exactly. So, next time you see a headline that seems completely out there, remember Tiger and Vanessa.
Because you never know what's really going on behind the scenes.
There might be a whole backstory, a whole web of connections just waiting to be unraveled.
And that, my friends, is the beauty of a good deep dive.
It's all about those unexpected discoveries, the connections that make you go, huh, I never thought of it that way.
And on that note, We'll leave you to ponder those hidden connections, the ones that shape our world in ways we may never fully understand.
Happy pondering.